A new federal study finds more than a third of Americans say they're not getting enough sleep, putting themselves at risk of obesity, heart disease, and other issues. Tonight, we continue our look at sleep problems in the QCA.
And for those who thought they've been getting a full night's sleep, the reality shows, well, in often cases they are not. Do you know someone who maybe wakes up tired, moves around a lot, snores or gasps, sounds something like what you hear here? Well, for millions of Americans, they have something called sleep apnea. There are new warnings out now that if left untreated, it is part of a dangerous deficit that is leading to many health problems.
If I pulled up to a stoplight and I had to wait for the light to change from red to green, I'd fall asleep. And I was having people honking at me, and that would wake me up and I would move on.
Then, when Ed started to fall asleep driving on the interstate with his family in the car, he knew something was wrong.
Thought I was getting a decent night's sleep, only to find out that really my brain was not sleeping. My body was exhausted.
I'd never done it before, but then started talking in my sleep.
Following multiple deployments, none of them in combat, Joe's dreams became more vivid, his actions more intense.
I would end up getting in a fight and punching the wall. I lost every one of those fights, of course.
That put the person he loved most in danger.
Married for 40 years. I love my wife dearly. One night, about a year ago, I actually kicked my wife.
With concerns for their families and their own health, both men went in for help. Sleep studies revealed both men had obstructive sleep apnea.
In a deep sleep, all our muscles relax. So when these muscles relax, and if they are heavy, they basically close up. And that's when they stop breathing because there is no air going through.
This woman stops breathing for more than a minute at a time, several times an hour. Fighting for oxygen, the brain wakes up and breathes again. But that constant fighting and lack of oxygen takes a toll on your body.
Hypertension, high blood pressure, and sleep apnea are very closely associated. Heart diseases, cardiac arrhythmias, stroke, forgetfulness, dementia, patients who are likely to get Alzheimer's. And if they don't get enough oxygen, it's going to make the Alzheimer's faster.
Sleep apnea is turning into a major public health problem.
In recent years, cardiologists like Dr. Coyne have seen a direct correlation to sleep disorders and heart health.
The risk of dying from heart disease is increased about 3 times if a person has severe sleep apnea which is not treated.
More doctors and patients are becoming more aware of the long and short-term risk of a bad night's sleep.
With the severity of the sleep apnea that I was experiencing, he said that probably within 10 years I would either have a massive heart attack or a massive stroke.
In 10 years, Ed has only slept without his CPAP machine one night.
It turned my life around so much that I would never even think of going to bed without having the CPAP machine on.
And for Joe, his so-called sleep divorce, where couples sleep in separate beds for their own safety, finally came to an end.
Since I now take a CPAP and took a couple of other medications, I'm able at least now to sleep through the night and never have kicked my wife again.
So for both of those men, this is what happened. The airflow to this area was actually getting stopped. So the air coming in through the nose, going up through the cavity there, and the nose coming through the mouth, simply coming back out, not getting the air they need. Using the CPAP, they can actually get the compressed air to continue all the way down no matter what they're doing at night. But here's the big problem. Many people email me saying compliance issues. Their family just can't keep these things on. Actually, this is a CPAP, and this is a big part of the problem for some. There's a noise, as you can hear with that. And here is the CPAP, the air actually working its way through the mask. But for many, in particular those that may be claustrophobic, this is hard for them to do. Now, there have been changes in recent years. In fact, items like this This is a nasal cannula. This just goes up to the nose here. And there's something in production right now that's soon to be tested that may help as well. This is a miniature CPAP machine that goes right there on the nose. So a lot of things to get used to as you have to go through some of this for this treatment. Some of it life-changing though. Next week we'll meet the man who came up with the idea for all of this, and we'll look at some of the other treatment options for some other common sleep problems. That's next Wednesday at 10.